Hey guys, HackerSploit here, back again with another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to install kalilinux on the Windows subsystem for Linux. Alright, so we've talked about the Windows subsystem for Linux before. It allows you to run Linux distributions as a subsystem on Windows, which is awesome. Alright, and as I've said many times, this is a fantastic feature that I don't think gets enough credit on Windows. That being said, let's get started. So before we get started, I just want to tell you that we have some prerequisites for this tutorial, and the first one is obviously that you have to be running the latest version of Windows 10. All right, and that's because this feature only exists in Windows 10. It's actually a fairly new feature. It's about a year old, and I've been using it ever since. The only thing is that not a lot of people seem to be using it, which is quite weird because it allows you to essentially emulate Linux in a subsystem environment. Right, so you need to have the latest version of Windows 10 with updates installed preferably. Okay, the next thing is you need to have Python 3 version 3 installed. All right, now when I mean installed, I mean really installed, in the sense that you can access it from the command line, which means you have set the path and the home the environment variables. What I mean is after you've installed it, you should be able to check the version in the command prompt as I've just done. So as you can see, I'm running Python 3.6.4. The last prerequisite is to have Git installed on Windows. All right. Now you can do this the other way by actually downloading the files from the repository manually and then extracting them, which is what I have here. But we'll be looking at that in a second. Now, as I said, I already have Git installed, so I'll also be using that method as well. So let's get started. Now, remember, by default, the Windows subsystem for Linux is going to be disabled. So to enable it, it's really very simple. All you have to do is just go into your control panel, and you want to go into programs, and you want to go into turn Windows features on and off. Click on that. And now it's going to give you this little dialog box that will allow you to turn Windows features on and off depending on what they are. So for example, we have Internet Explorer, we have .NET Framework 4.7 and 3.5, very important. So I tend to leave those ones always on. And you want to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will find the Windows subsystem for Linux right here. Alright, so by default it will be unchecked if this is your first time doing it, but for me it's already checked because I already have it and I use it quite a lot. So just check it and just hit OK. Now if that is your first time checking it, it's gonna start downloading some files, the required files, and once it's done we can move to the next step. Alright, now once you've checked that and you've enabled it, the next thing you need to do is you need to install a base distribution, and you need to configure your username and password. So the way to do that is to go into your command prompt and run it as administrator. Alright, so you want to run it as administrator, and now you need to run the command lxrun, which is Linux run, and you want to hit install /install. And once you hit enter, it's going to give you this little option saying lxrun is only used to configure the legacy Windows subsystem for Linux distribution. Distributions can be installed by visiting the Windows Store. So what this means is the version I'm showing you, installing it through the command prompt, is considered the legacy version of how to install the Windows subsystem for Linux. Alright, now the distributions can be found on the Windows Store, which is quite awesome. I actually saw them on the Windows Store. There was Ubuntu, Fedora, and OpenSUSE, which are awesome. You know, that is really great flexibility. But sadly, there wasn't any kalilinux version. But this is a way of actually getting the kalilinux, getting to install kalilinux as a subsystem. Alright, so it's going to prompt you here. This will install Ubuntu on Windows, distributed by Canonical and licensed under its terms available here. Type Y to continue. Now I already have it installed, so it's probably just going to tell me that it's installed. So hit yes, and as you can see, yes, the legacy Windows subsystem for Linux distribution is already installed. Now for you, it's going to start downloading Ubuntu. It should take less than 20 minutes, and then it's going to ask you to enter your Unix username and password. That's very important that you configure that. Alright, so once that's done, you have successfully configured and you have enabled the Windows subsystem for Linux. Alright, now the next step is to download the Windows subsystem for Linux switcher. Alright, which can be found in the GitHub repository here, which I will leave in the description section so you can check it out for yourself. Alright, so as you can see, it's the Windows Subsystem for Linux distribution checker here, and its main purpose is to let you easily download and install new Linux distributions under the Windows Subsystem for Linux and seamlessly, that's a keyword there, seamlessly switch between them. So I've used this tool for a long time now, and I was shocked not many people know about this, and not many people knew that you can install any distribution under the Windows Subsystem for Linux. Alright, so the Windows Subsystem for Linux Distribution-Switcher is a fantastic tool that allows you to do this, and it makes it really easy to do. Alright, so as I said, you can do this with two ways, because Windows is not native to Git. You can just go to clone or download and just download the zip, or you can go and copy the link right here and just copy it. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new folder on my desktop, right? And I'm just going to call it test. I'm just going to call it test. There we are. And I'm going to open up my command prompt now. This time you don't need to be an administrator. Or actually, before we do that, I want to open up Git because we need to clone the repository. So I'm just going to open up Git bash. What I would recommend you do if you have downloaded the file directly, just copy it to your desktop and extract it there. So I'm going to open up Git bash now. Right, and this is a fantastic tool. It allows me to do all the Linux commands that I would get to do. So it emulates it really well. Alright, so I'm going to change my directory into my desktop, and I'm going to change it furthermore into my test folder, which is where we're going to be doing all of this. Alright, so test, and now I'm going to hit git clone, and I'm going to paste the link there. And once it's pasted, oops, for some reason I did not, for some reason that did not paste there. So let me just copy this again, right? And I'm just going to hit git clone again and paste. There we are. Yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to start cloning the repository. Give it a few seconds. The file is not large at all. All right, so we're done. So I can close Git now, and I can just open up my command prompt and head over to my desktop and into the test folder. All right. So we're in the test folder. If I look at the directories I have in the test folder, we should have the WSL-Distribution-Switcher. All right, so I'm going to change my directory into that directory. So WSL-Distribution-Switcher. And then now let me just clear that, and let's see what files we have in here. So as I mentioned, we need to have Python 3 pre-installed. It's a prerequisite for this because you will need it. So the first command we're going to need to use is the get-prebuilt.py file right here. That's the most important file, which will allow us to fetch the kalilinux Docker files. You then want to use the install.py file here, which we will use to install the Docker file or the Docker archive. Alright, so as I said, I've already done this before, which, to save time and to show you how it all works really well, I have it in this Kali folder here. So as you can see, in the Kali folder, I have the WSL-Distribution-Switcher, the same directory as I have in the test folder. So if I open this up, the file that we want to download, the Docker file, is the kalilinux docker latest.tar. Alright, so that is the file you want to download and install. And that can be done really simply. So to get it installed, what you want to do is use the Python command. So Python, because we want to run a Python file, and then we say get prebuilt. We want to use this Python file right here, get prebuilt. And now we specify the name of the Docker file, which in this case is the kalilinux. Alright, kalilinux. So it's actually going to download this file. So kalilinux docker. Alright. So it's going to get this file and download it. Now, as I said, I've done this before, so it's already downloaded. And the file I'm talking about is this one right here. So it's about 234 megabytes. So again, if you don't have the file, it will take a while to download. That's all I'm going to say there. So just hit enter, and it's going to start downloading the file. So in my case, I already have the file, so I'm just going to show you what to do next. So once you've downloaded the file, let me actually just copy it into the test directory so I can show you exactly what to do. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'm just going to move it into my test directory here, which is the one we are currently working in. So I'm just going to paste it in there. All right, fantastic. So now if I list the files inside, once it's done downloading, you should see it in here. So the rootfs, kalilinux docker latest.tar.gz. All right. Now we need to actually install it. So we use the Python command, Python, and we select the install.py file here. So install.py file, like so. Alright, and after you've hit install.python, now we need to select the name of the file that we're installing, which is the kalilinux docker file. So we just select it right there, or you can just type it in. So root fs, and I can just use the tab button to autocomplete and just hit enter. Now once you hit enter, it's going to start the installation process. It's going to start extracting and installing the kalilinux docker. Once the installation is done, what you want to do is just close up this command prompt here. Because again, I'm not going to do it because I've already done it. So just close this command here, and now you want to go into your command prompt again, and you want to run it as administrator. Okay. Now once you've run it as administrator, you need to set the default username. So we can do this using the lxrun command. So let's do that right now. All right. So to set the default username, we use the lxrun / set default user, and then we select the default username, which is root. All right. So essentially we are creating, we're setting the default user as the root, which is fantastic because we do not need to create a non-root account here. All right. So once that is done, just hit enter, and it's going to say found Unix user root. The default Unix user is sent to root. Fantastic. Now, once that's done, we can just hit bash, and voila, we should have kalilinux active. Excellent. There we are. That is fantastic. So now we are in the subsystem now. We are actually using, whoops, I forgot I'm actually on Linux now. So you might be asking, well, how do I know I'm actually in kalilinux? Well, the easiest way to know that is if we check the issue file. So that can be done with the issue. So cat, we can just display cat etc and issue. All right. And as you can see here, kalilinux GNU rolling. It's Linux rolling release. So again, you're running kalilinux now, and the first thing I would recommend that you do is you just update it. So apt-get update. You can also update the distribution, and furthermore, you can then install, because this is the Docker file or the Docker installation. You can then install all the packages that you require. For example, nmap, the Metasploit console, all the essentials that you require. All right, so that is how to get kalilinux installed as a subsystem on the Windows subsystem for Linux on Windows 10. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions at all, any at all, just leave them in the comment section or hit me up on my social networks, or you can hit me up on Kik. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.